over to WWE. And so I'm at this concert at the Astro, and I'm like, I swear to God, this is him. And so what do? I snapped a pic. I did. And this time, I didn't have a mishap that I had before. But she wasn't into it. She's looking at me like, what are you doing right now? I'm like, I swear to God, that's David Bischoff. And so as I'm like taking these pictures, which I think he caught me taking pictures. He had a lanyard on, so at least he had enough money that he bought like some kind of VIP access, and it didn't look like the normal VIP stuff that I was seeing. So that only further tells me that I really think David Bischoff of the formerly WWE was in town last night. And of course, I Googled David Bischoff Omaha to see, like, did he move here? Did he what? And he's got tweets of what appears to be like a grandkid here. So I'm thoroughly convinced I was justified. But there have been times where I've been wrong about that. Have you ever whiffed? Have you ever said, you know what, I think that's so and so, but that was not, in fact, so and so? Did you get caught doing it? That's what I really want to hear. In the next 6 minutes, I'll tell you about a time that was so embarrassing. And I didn't even have anyone to like help cover it up. It was the most boneheaded move. Facebook.com/Bluffs Country. We're broadcasting live there on the Performance Digital Cam. You can also comment on the post there. Have you ever taken a picture of someone you thought were famous, but they weren't? It's Cole Swindell. It's Bluffs Country. Take a shot. Yeah, we're on a little early today, huh? Gonna get you a little extra action on the old camera. Yeah. Yeah, see? Yeah. Then there's something that's not necessarily country music, but it is awesome and musically related. And so I cannot wait to share this in case you might not have seen it. In case you might not have seen it. Make sure you tell your friends. Tell your friends what we're doing over here. You know what I mean? I need your help sending us to the stratosphere, as it were. Baby, bye, bye, bye. You know what song I've had stuck in my head is Rumors by Lee Brice. There's a rumor going round about me and you. I'm down up a little town. And we could do. And a bad down. Tell you about it, bird. But I feel it too. Rumor going round, round and round. Let me do the thinking. I think it's true. Morning, Marsh. Yep, I'm trying to get on earlier. Trying to get in and beat the rush. Too many options for people to watch things on Facebook Live in the morning time, and so I want to make sure that I am top of mind. I just cannot believe this happened. I can't believe this happened. Pinch me. Pinch me, I'm dreaming. Have you ever tried to take a picture of someone you thought was famous, though? It's embarrassing. Super embarrassing. You thought you're being slick. Good for me, too, because I work at 7. I'm always bored. Good morning. I did. I really enjoyed the concert. I was surprised how much, like, I enjoyed it, I guess. I don't know that I went in there giving them a fair shake. I think I was just like, yeah, this will probably be weird. But it's Keanu Reeves, so you have to, right? You have to. And then we like creepily stayed behind to see if we could like see him at the bus. I'm so excited about this rock band announcement. Like this will be an act that I go and see if they come here. That could be a big if. Copy link address. Are you saying they weren't the famous person or it was? I don't know. I don't think the person that I don't think the person that I thought was famous. I don't think it was Eric Bischoff of the WWE. Maybe you did take a picture of a famous person. I can't believe it. I get no traction on some of these posts. My posts get zero bitches. You know what I mean? Stupid. It's very dumb. It's the dumbest. It's the dumbest. There's a rumor going round about me and you. Get that song stuck in my head. It's like so deep in my head. Holly Parks. Good morning, Holly Parks. How are you? I kicked it with Bone Thugs after a concert at the casino when I worked there. Had a good time. Oh my God. You kicked it with Bone Thugs and Harmony? I gave Q-Tip a ride one time. I don't know why we were transporting him, but yeah, that was pretty cool. We're going to go on the air here in a second.
This is Nelson in the Morning on Bluffs Country 1065.
We're talking about doppelgangers. Continued that. Facebook.com/Bluffs Country. Of course, that is where broadcast the show live on the Performance Digital Cam, helping take your business into the digital age. PerformanceDigital.com. I saw what I was certain was former head of WCW and a member of WWE, Eric Bischoff, in town last night as I was at the Dog Star concert at the Astro, seeing Keanu Reeves, actual famous person. Not that Eric Bischoff isn't famous, but he also, I don't believe, was in town. And of course, it embarrassed my girlfriend because I'm snapping pictures. But like, unlike everyone else, my camera is not aimed at Keanu Reeves. My camera is aimed across the arena, so everyone can see that I'm not paying attention to the show that I'm taking pictures of. But I only got caught necessarily by my girlfriend doing that. There was a time, and if you have a time that you suffered through, maybe you thought maybe you didn't get caught, but you thought you saw someone famous and they weren't famous. It's okay to bust yourself out a little bit. 712-713-2065. You can do that by phone or by text. So if you just want to pop, fire off a quick text, message and data rates apply, you can do that. We text now. It's so easy to get a hold of us. Or on the Facebook cam there. But this is like a deep cut of a famous person. But do you remember the old like USA show Major Dad? It's just a Marine Corps officer, and it follows, the the life of his family. And it's got that guy that's just like Gerald Lee McCraney. He's just all like an angry old man in like all of the TV shows that your grandparents watched. He's got a deep voice and a mustache. And I was certain that I saw him in the airport in Orlando, Miami. I think it must have been Miami. I was certain of it. And this is back in the day when you had Blackberry still. So this will tell you how old it was. I think iPhone had been released, but it wasn't Android, by the way. And if you want to see exactly why you should own an Android over an iPhone, specifically a Samsung Galaxy, they don't pay me for this, but they should for as much as I paid them. I will gladly show you exactly why it's the camera alone, and I will show you why, if you come to facebook.com/bluffscountry, why you need Samsung. Yeah, get off your high horse. iPhone it's not where it's at. Anyway, so I got my little BlackBerry, and I'm in the whatever. It's not a Chili's, but it's one of those like fast casual sit down restaurants, but it's a smaller version of it because it's in the airport. And there's Major Dad. It wasn't, I don't think. I don't know, because I almost got into a fight, and I don't think Major Dad would hit me. Anyway, so not Gerald McCraney is sitting 3 or 4 tables away from me. And so I'm like, I got to get a picture of this guy. A grainy, blurry picture with my stupid BlackBerry with a full keyboard and a roller bar. It's got a mouse. Why's the phone got a mouse? So I'm sitting there and I'm trying to take a picture of Major Dad. And you know what I did? I freaking had the flash on. And so it like the one thing BlackBerry did right when it came to the camera was the flash was like the sun. And of course, he looked up and he got out of his table. I had to leave my food. I left cash on the table and I had to run out because I thought I was going to get my ass kicked by Major Dad. Like, no, Major Dad, no, don't do it. I didn't mean to be incorrect. So sorry I did that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I did, Bernie. Chill. I could not believe that I did that. Like a total tool. What a bonehead move. All of a sudden, it was about to be an episode of, yeah, because he was gonna Law and Order me all the way to the ground. So if there was a time where you mistakenly tried taking a picture of someone, or maybe you did, maybe you took a picture of a celebrity, you felt like a creep doing it, I'll take that call too. A little bit of honesty with each other, you know? Facebook.com/BluffsCountry, or of course 712-713-2065. You can call or text, all one number. Not too many hoops to jump through there. Message and data rates apply. Another warm one. Couple more days in the 90s, and then it's going to become manageable. Of course, if you're like thin and love the outdoors, it's already manageable for you, but I am not. I'm fat. I'm sweaty. Oh my God. Even in the air conditioning, I can sweat. 92 for the high, humid. What do you expect? Walk outside from air conditioning and all of a sudden you're all fogged up. What's going on? Where are we? Tonight down into the 70s. Sunshine throughout most of the day. Basically clear skies tonight. So we'll take that. Sit out on the porch. Maybe have a beverage. Put the kids to bed early. 70 degrees currently in the metro. Let's look at your weather, brought to you by the 712 Initiative. They're inviting you to shop, eat, and play at the Farmers Market Council Bluffs. It's in its 15th season. You find it every Thursday afternoon from 4:30 to 7:30 in Bayless Park. The Farmers Market Council Bluffs is presented by CHI Health, Mercy of Council Bluffs. And for tomorrow, it's looking gorgeous. I think it's going to be okay. I think we're going to make it. You know what I mean? All right. You know, you say that, and then you go, oh, what's going to happen on the roads? According to my systems, nothing. Oh, it's smooth sailing. I hate even telling you that nothing's going wrong on the roads because then you know something's going to go sideways. But let's be positive. Pottawatomie County, Douglas County, Sarpy, everything's moving nicely. Even the JFK. What's up with that, JFK? I see you. Let's look at your traffic brought to you by Pizza Ranch, home of the legendary buffet featuring pizza and the country's best chicken. When you stop in today, you'll see why Pizza Ranch is everyone's favorite buffet.
Hey, it's Addie with today's Performance Digital download with some.
Performance Digital, you know them? They have this cam. I almost got my arm chopped off in an elevator for holding for Jim Belushi, and I didn't even say thank you. Well, then I hate Jim Belushi. Is it Joey Lawrence? I gotta go back and see some of these comments. I kicked it with Bone Thugs at their bus, not on the bus. That's a good demarcation there. You gotta know. Morning, Aaliyah. I only met Ashley Judd and Joey Lauren Adams. I don't know Joey Lauren Adams, but Ashley Judd's awesome. Hey, Bradley. How are you, buddy? How are you, Bradley? Only band members I've ever met is Shim from the old Chick Puppies. I'm so close to buying meet and greets for Daughtry, but I have better to buy with my money first. I would just save your money on that one. He's little. He's very small. He's very chiseled. He is chiseled, but he walks around like a pretty person. And like doesn't talk too much because you got to save his voice. Like, okay, I get it. You're saving your voice. But I'm not a super famous singer, so I guess I don't know. Marsha says, my favorite's Erica Badu. She came with the Roots to the casino when I worked there. Spent the whole day looking for her. Never saw her, but met and helped her sister. I was still so excited. That's awesome. Got a personal autograph picture of Danny Glover. I'm getting too old for this shit, Rick. I tell you what, Rick, I'm just too old for this. My Danny Glover is not a young Danny Glover. It's the new Danny Glover with like the speech impediment. Too old for this. I'm too old for this shit, Rick. He's probably drunk and high. Probably. Yeah, she's talking Jim, not John, though. You think Jim Belushi's drunk and high? Are you guys moving from the current location? I know the Bluffs Country sign is down. Are you talking about the big old sign that was on that building on Broadway? Or are you talking about the sign that was out front of the building here on 4th, Holly? We are looking to find a new spot. Looking to find ourselves a hot little piece of property. Yeah. So if you know somebody, she started with Adam Sandler. Okay, I'll look into that, Deb. And movies, Googler. I bet you know. I'm sure I do. I just want to meet Daughtry. I love them so much. I didn't meet the rest of the band. I literally met him. Joey Lauren Adams. Let me look. I'm for Joey Lauren Adams. Joey Lauren Adams. Oh yeah, I love her. Yeah, not one day in my life have I ever realized that's her name. Hell yeah. Iodome. She is in Dazed and Confused. That's right. Biodome. Go watch her in Biodome. She's so hot in Biodome. She's so hot right now. 56? Yeah, get it, girl. Get it, girl. I need somebody else in here. I cannot just be talking to myself. Listen to what I'm saying to myself. Who am I? I don't know why. I'll send you a picture of her and my mom. Yeah, that's awesome. Please do. Second here. Oh, hanging her. Okay, now.
Always be right there. Even though I'm leaving, I ain't going nowhere.
Your hometown country station, Bluffs Country 1065, just 3 minutes away
I ain't going nowhere.
from your top two. Tesla dropping some charges, or at least some theoretical ones. And rehab and recovery. How has it affected the Hawkeyes?
This is where it ends.
Mm-hmm. Jump, just where it ends. I love this Bailey Zimmerman. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's his voice. Maybe it's his music. Maybe it's because he's so handsome. I would be the second person there if I could. I know, you got to get a car, dog. Come on, man. Come on, man. You got to get a car. I know. You want one. I know you want one. I do not hold it against you. I do know. I do not hold it against you. Go on here. This is where it ends. Ba-ba. Oh, son of a gun. We gotta do this real quick. Forgot to grab this. That's not what I want.
Well, have dogs continue to Cybertruck owner. Apparently, they're trying to flip the cars for profit, right?
You can't do it if fined $50,000. Basically, you'll be sued by Tesla. So when an owner can't do
Right? Cars for profit, right? Cybertruck owners. Apparently, they're trying to flip the cars for profit.
LS. Top 2. Delete. Tesla. There we go.
So this is where it ends.
Time for the top two.
What?
The top two.
What does that mean?
Two of the biggest stories happening right now.
live on the scene to tell us what happened today.
It's the top two. Nelson in the morning on Bluffs Country 1065.
It's called the top two. Just a couple of stories to get you into your news day. And perhaps make you look like you know what the heck you're talking about. Am I right? Wouldn't that be nice? The first story is great if you're, I don't know, super rich, as Tesla has decided to walk back a policy that they recently had, charging people a ton of money for doing this.
Cybertruck Cybertruck owners. Apparently, they're trying to flip the cars for profit, right?
You can't do it. If you're found guilty of it, you will be fined $50,000. Basically, you'll be sued by Tesla.
Basically, the way it worked is the Cybertruck, which is, by the way, in one man's opinion, maybe the ugliest thing I've ever seen. There are finally some in town. I've seen at least one in the metro. It's just like, for one, it's like car-shaped. Okay, I guess as you get closer to it, you kind of get how they would justify this being a truck. Okay, but it's just gigantic, and then it's got big flat panels on it. It's like the new version of the DeLorean. You know, the DeLorean, the all stainless steel car. But in order to keep people from making a huge profit on their Tesla Cybertruck, anyone who had one of the first round of them, as soon as you got them, if you sold it, regardless if you did it for profit, Tesla would sue you for $50,000. Now, these things have already had a litany of problems. Car washes have destroyed them. They got stuck on a sandy beach at a lake. A YouTuber did a stress test on it and basically like crumpled the thing. But just so much money for this thing, and it's just like garish. And Tesla can like log in and deactivate your car. Like, you don't own that car. If Tesla can log into my car and shut features off, then I don't own that car. Where the heck does that come from? Where do they get the right? And you can get like busted for not using the right chargers, and they can ban you from their chargers. Like, the charger knows who your car is. You pay that much money for a car, and then it can blacklist you, essentially. Now, they recently ended the ban. It was because they called it the foundation series of this Cybertruck. And for a while, you had to have a reservation to even purchase one. And they're saying that part of the $50,000 was the fact that you can actually get them. You can purchase the EVs from the company's online order configurator now, instead of having to get a reservation and like hope that someone's going to get you in. But although they did not officially sue anyone for $50,000, they did take steps to blacklist owners who attempted to flip their EVs, as they are called, electronic vehicles. The pickup became the best-selling car above $100,000 here in America, by the way. Like, you're going to spend that much money, why wouldn't you go get like a really nice truck that you can take off? I don't know. What do I know? What do I know about saving the environment or having too much money? Because if I had a bunch of money, I'd be poor again anyway. I literally would. I have no concept of the dollar. When it comes to Saturday's game with the Hawkeyes, rehab and recovery was at the forefront for one star of the team.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it's been a long time, really ever since surgery. I've been working for this week and just putting my body and my mind and everything in the best position to help out the team. Anything regarding Coach Ferentz, I mean, for the rest of this year and especially for this week, this team loves Coach Ferentz.
That is Cade McNamara, a man who was courted by Ferentz at one point and came to the Hawkeyes and is now their star. He had season-ending knee injury last year, and there was a little up and back and forth. Is he going to be? Is he not going to be? Is he going to be? Is he going to take the starting role? Will he be under center? And just as he did a year ago versus Utah State, he will be behind the center, taking the first snap of the game against Illinois State, 11 a.m., right here on Bluffs Country 106.5. Of course, Kirk Ferentz is not going to be there as he is in a self-imposed timeout. I think it's better when you call it a timeout. During fall camp, the quarterback battle is said to have been real, according to offensive coordinator Tim Lester during Big Ten's network training camp that aired just a couple of weeks ago. And before Sullivan, another quarterback hopeful, outplayed McNamara in closed scrimmage, McNamara ultimately got the nod. Some other things that people didn't see coming, Kamari Moulton is a surprise star running back. 5'9", 170. He's a 97-pound freshman from Fort Lauderdale. He unseats the 2022 starter, Caleb Johnson, and the 2023 starter, LaShawn Williams. in one fall camp. And then they say that there is a surprising trio at wide receiver with Caleb Brown suspended in week 1 because of an OWI. Can't be drinking and driving, man. There was going to be an opening. Well, 3 people are filling that. Jarrett Buey, a walk-on senior, Caden Wetchen, and Northwestern transfer Jacob Gill. 40-plus points are expected for the game. Hawkeyes listed as a 23.5-point favorite. Take that one all the way to the bank, won't we? 23.5 points. Over-under of the points total set at 40.5. It's fascinating, they say, for the Hawkeyes as their total betting industry record lows all last season. That would be set by this total. Like, they scored way over that all last season. In fact, the last time Iowa had a score that was totaled in the 40s was 43.5 versus Western Michigan last September. And the Iowa-Nebraska game last year had a record low total of 25.5. And under still hit. 13-10 Iowa win. As an Husker fan, that one hurts. But as the home of the Hawkeyes, you know it, buddy. Obviously. Duh. Get you a broadcaster who can do both. This news broke yesterday, and it is maybe the biggest news in music going. It is not involving a country artist, although there are some country tie-ins to what we're going to talk about here in the next 6 minutes. You're not going to want to miss it. Who reunited that no one said was possible is possible. All things are with Jesus, baby.
Bluffs Country 106.5.
Hi, this is Chuck Denver, and I hope you'll join me.
I don't know why I said that. It just felt right. Felt right to say. It's not wrong. All things are possible with Jesus. We need to go and all things possible with Jesus, baby. Short stack. The shortest of stacks. Short stack. That's what I'm looking for here. But they got back together, I thought. I thought these guys got back together. I think they did. I'll BRB. Go ahead, BRB. Get the assignment done, man. Don't be messing up the assignment. You crazy. You can. So take it easy. Came into work waiting to find out what my raise was. Still waiting, but they gave us $125 in Dunkin' Donuts credits, which was so cool. I'm assuming DD is Dunkin' Donuts. Freaking better be, man. Give me some of them Dunkin' Donuts, man. Stop with the coughing. Coughing. That's from, of course, Next Pokemon. Alvin. Regushum. Pum pa pum param pa pum. Oh, thumb. What about thumbs? That could be a good parody song. Something about your thumbs. DoorDash. DoorDash. I DoorDash. Like I am a dasher. I could dash to your house. You know what I mean? You wouldn't even know because you all say leave at the door because you don't want to interact with humans, which I get to a degree. You know, I get it. I see you. I see you, boo boo. Dismiss. 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 Teacher boo. You love me, baby. Dum, dum. Two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mm. Oh. Ma, 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 ma. Tamika. What's up, Tamika? Mike, Mike, Mike. Mike, 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 Mike. Guess what day it is? Is it hump day? It is. It's hump day. Yeah, Mike. I think I made enough room for that. All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. The landslide in a Champagne's open over in the sky. Put this thing in manual. You gotta fly. Seconds.
This is Nelson in the Morning on Bluffs Country 1065.
I could not believe this story when it was announced yesterday. And I don't think I am alone in that. A band that at one point was said to have been the next worldwide sensation. The fans they had already garnered over across the pond had them on a trajectory to be of a Beatles level talent allegedly. Now it's a pretty bold statement to make. But I do love this band. But almost more than I love the band, I love the story of how two brothers just couldn't make it work, especially despite all of the money. When it comes to people and their art, they really will sacrifice the world. And that band are these guys. The brothers in Oasis have somehow buried the hatchet. Noel and Liam Gallagher will put aside their differences and take the stage again. After a 15-year split from each other, the Champagne Supernova is back. Which is wild that it would have taken this long. But the story of them and how they would treat each other after they broke up is the stuff of legend. Like, they would go to each other's shows and then they would heckle each other. And they would fight over who could play what songs. Because each one of them is every bit 50% of that band. It wasn't like one of them was just like, oh, I'm the band and then I'm just dragging my brother along. No. Now, Liam, of course, singer and songwriter, he's the lead singer of Oasis. But Noel was the primary songwriter. So it was a very interesting dichotomy as that Noel was the co-lead vocalist of there's only two guys in it, really. I mean, there's the rest of the band, obviously. It's not just a two-piece band. But he wrote most of the songs. And so Noel would go where Liam was performing, and then he would heckle him, don't be singing my songs, essentially. It all started because they got into a huge fight backstage at a show 15 years ago. One of the most successful acts of the 90s, and they only had 2 albums. 75 million records they sold in the time that they put out the 2 albums that they had. They haven't performed backstage. They haven't performed together at all since a backstage fight at a music festival in Paris in 2009. Now, to put this into perspective, although income in music has diminished, as they say, big name acts like these guys can make some dough. This reunion could pull in 400 million pounds, as they're British, okay? Or 528 million American Samoans. Now, you can put that in perspective against a Taylor Swift who just made $1 billion in revenue. But she's been popular and making new music actively and not fighting with her band since she was 13. So you put that together, had Oasis not taken any time off, or they maybe taken a little less time off, they could have possibly gotten themselves a little more dough. I don't know. That, I guess we'll never know on that, right? And that's okay. In the next 10 minutes, I want to go over some other major musical acts, including a pair of guys who were almost brothers, as close as you could be as brothers in country music. And even they couldn't make it work out until they did. These all have happy endings. Bands that have broken up and then reunited. First, we got to take a look at how the weather's going to treat you today. 90s for the high, low 90s at least. So you got that going for you. 90 again tomorrow. Down in the 70s and the in-between. And by the time we get to that first Hawkeye football game, which we'll have complete coverage on your home of the Hawkeyes, mid-80s. So it'll be good to be out in the garage, have the radio on, get some stuff done, listen to the Hawkeyes just stomp to the tune of 23-plus points a favorite. Currently 71 degrees here in the metro. Finally, you've been waiting for it. You know what I mean? You've been saying, JFK, got to be slow at some point. You are on 75 North between Childs and L Streets exit. Then you're finding slow traffic both directions on I-80, eastbound and westbound. Eastbound between 84th and 72nd Street, and westbound between the I-40 exchange and 72nd Street. Which one's rubbernecking? It's always the rubberneckers. Just focus and drive. Slow traffic also reported on Dodge Street, eastbound between 192nd and 144th. Of course, as most days, clear and moving right along when it comes to the Council Bluffs side of things. Just saying. Just saying. If that makes sense.
Our kids are to school, and so is All Care Health Center. All Care's mobile medical clinic has started its traveling school year schedule. Today, the mobile clinic is at Abraham Lincoln High School, where it'll be found.
Marsha, good morning. Tamika said that already. DoorDash. DoorDash. Oh, I've got a bush on him, huh? Well, that's what I go to. Ye- I don't know if this is going to get me kicked off now that I'm thinking about it because I have to play. I'm going to have to maybe mute you guys for a second. Well, we'll risk it. It can just kick us off. That's all they can do is kick us off, guys.
Together as a band in
That way.
The greatest group.
You're gonna be the one that saves.
What we're really listening to is Miss Carla James. Am I right? Carla James in her local news, loving what she brings to us. And you know who else is a big fan of the work that Miss Carla James is putting in on a daily basis? That'd be the Jenny Edmondson Foundation. They've got their Medivan program and they need your help. They're seeking sponsors for this vital service, providing free patient transportation to and from therapy appointments, traveling over 28,000 miles a year for more than 3,000 patients. Make a real difference in the lives of those who need it most. Become a Medivan sponsor today at jehfoundation.org for details.
For Bluffs Country News, I'm Carla James.
All right, I'm going to say again, this is ready. This is probably ready soon. A little jumbled there, guys. Trying to get something queued up here.
Thank you to young lover. Watch your broken dreams. Watch your broken. Black hole.
It's a lovely place. Living it up in the Hotel California. That's a nice surprise.
Foundation.org or call 712-396-6040. Your generosity drives our mission.
It's your hometown country station, Bluffs Country 1065. We told you the biggest news in music was the reuniting of the brothers Gallagher. What country act, though?
to you.
is rivaling Katniss.
Should have somehow you. I don't believe in it, but feels the way I feel about you now. Back when it's on the streets at the fire, yeah. So I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had that. And I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. No, we haven't. Why do and things that I like to say to you, but I don't know how. Don't know how. Mm. Truth was gonna be the I'm never going back to you. But now you should have somehow realized what you want to do. I don't believe that. It's the way I think you now. Right. Then I'll find it. Right. Slide away. Now, never sit out. I like to sing, but I don't know how. I don't. I don't. I certain things. You're gonna be the one that sings. You're gonna be the one that sings. Sing. You're gonna be the one that saves us.
The incomparable Little Big Town on Bluffs Country 1065 doing their rendition of Wonderwall, as it was recently announced that the brothers Gallagher have reunited after 15 years. They broke up after a fight at a music show in Paris, a big festival. They went on to heckle each other. They would sit in the audience and throw things at each other, fight across media interviews. It was maybe the worst breakup in music. I've got a couple of other ones, though. Leave and come back together. Okay, so you always have happy endings. Like, how about another pair of brothers that could not stand each other? In fact, they grew to resent their own band for a while, and that would be the Black Crowes.
Little thing, let me light your candle, calls the mama. I'm sure all the hand and I guess around.
Started in 2015, and the brothers Robinson could not make it work, as Rich Robinson issued a public statement announcing the Black Crowes breakup, explicitly calling out his older brother for demanding a greater ownership of the stake in the band and for wanting to make drummer Steve Gorman, the Crowes' third remaining founding member, into a salaried employee. Chris counters it's way more complicated than Rich's public outburst. but declines to elaborate. Now, I got an opportunity to sit in and be a part of a conversation with Chris Robinson after they had come back together and reformed, which they did in 2019, and they've been on tour ever since. A lot of it had to do with substance abuse and ego clashes. And Chris Robinson is the first one to admit it. But it was really funny because the person that I was working with had actually asked him, he goes, when I talked to your brother Rich years ago, he says to him, he goes, he claimed that you were not in his cell phone anymore, that he didn't have your phone number saved. And then Chris goes, that's bull. He never deleted my number. He wouldn't even know how. Which was a great dig from the brother Robinson. Talking about this because it was announced, not a country act, but it was announced that Oasis is making a major reunion after 15 years, arguably at one point considered to be potentially one of the biggest bands of all time. Now, it depends on where you fall on whether or not you consider these guys a country act. In the 70s, they got labeled this way. One of the biggest bands of the 70s, this from 1976, got about as big as a blockbuster album can get. However, touring kind of ground into them. And they had frequent arguments with each other, culminating in the loss of the founding member, Randy Meisner. He left the group as the tour was finished. Ego continued throughout much of the rest of their run before they all decided to put a decade-plus hiatus as they all followed their own solo careers. But as fate would have it, and money, they dropped a live album in 1994 with the genius title of Hell Freezes Over. Tensions were cooled, and by the time 2007 rolled around, the band released their first new collection of brand new material in decades. That would be The Long Road Out of Eden. An artist that was a part of a band that broke up and then reunited and then played one of their last shows, if not their last show. I'd have to look this up. I think it was the second to last show right here in the Metro, is a grunge rock artist, and that would be
Black holes, won't you come?
that of the artist Soundgarden. Remember these guys? Remember the song with the creepy video from MTV in the 90s? So Chris Cornell was a part of Soundgarden in the early 90s. Their 1994 album Super Unknown was a blockbuster, but they couldn't make it happen. They couldn't keep it together. By 1997, the worldwide tour was not enough to keep them together. And after a decade apart, which included Chris Cornell doing solo work and being a part of another rock band with pieces of a band who broke up, God, I didn't even get to them. Chris Cornell was the head of Audioslave, which was all of the rest of Rage Against the Machine, and then Chris Cornell. And then after they broke up, Soundgarden got back together. Well, get this. Soundgarden played one of their last shows here at, why did my mind just blank? West Fair. They were at West Fair as a part of a music festival. And it was right after that, like 2 weeks after that, that Chris Cornell had unfortunately committed suicide. And if you're feeling like you don't have any way out, there are options, okay? You can dial 988 on a phone. Did you know that? It's like 911. You dial 988. It gets you immediately to the suicide prevention hotline. I did promise you a country act that was said to be as close as brothers could be, and yet somehow it could not work out for them when they abruptly broke up in 2009. And it's these guys.
Watch your dancing out of speed.
Appearing to be as close as brothers, they say, their commercial run together, they stunned the world when they abruptly announced their breakup in 2009. They admitted later they had friction for years, though. You just couldn't stand the way he ground his teeth when he was chewing steak. He didn't say that, but I can just assume. At one point, they recorded separately for albums. Like, it would be, all right, I'm going to go do my part. Look at the harmonies of Brooks and Dunn, and they were recording that stuff separate from each other. They said they were talking about calling it quits for years at that point, and then they did finally in 2009. They gave their fans a farewell tour, but Ronnie confessed that he was ready to walk away without. But after years apart and several projects, solo projects, guess who got back together in 2015? You don't have to, should be that hard of a guess. It's Brooks and Dunn. So never say never when it comes to your favorite artists. Even if the band breaks up, there might be another My Maria, just like with Brooks Dunn. Blues Country. All right, everybody. We're going to take off. I'm going to shut this thing down. Got a couple of things got to handle here in the old studio. We'll be on the air again tomorrow. And I mean, the show's going to continue here for a little while longer. So I appreciate you being a part of it.